chair recognizes Conference Treasurer and Director of Finance, Steve Barlow.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Steve Barlow, and you just heard my name because y'all just voted me in for this position, so thank you very much for that. And I got to tell you, I am a single white male laity senior, right? Thank you. As far as I can tell. And I can't tell you how pleased I am to be able to share this podium with the likes of Weldon and Van and Carly and the Bishop. Those were the ones that a little over a year ago interviewed me and offered me the position of treasurer. And before I came here, because I'd never worked for a nonprofit and really didn't know about the Louisiana Conference, I went ahead and read every page of those 86 pages in the 2025 pre-conference report. But I tell you what, I was impressed. I was impressed with what you all had done here. I was impressed very much just off the numbers and the reports, and then when I started to meet Van and Weldon and the Bishop and Carly and so on and so forth, Sandy O'Brien and such, I became even more impressed. They offered me the position, and I feel very good that I was able to come here and offer, my background and, my knowledge of finance and accounting and business and so on and so forth. But I also came in here with fresh eyes. You had gone through a lot over the last few years, and we all know the numbers. And like Weldon said, it's not just about spreadsheets, except, I do pay attention to the spreadsheets and the balances and so on and so forth. But there's mission work to do. There is a economic position of all that, but it's with the fresh eyes, and it's like, how do we look at this in order to maintain and bring sustainability to the conference and such? And I looked at a lot of different pieces. We looked at a lot of different pieces, particularly under Van's leadership and such. And one, obviously, as I'm getting to it, was the Wesley Center. What about the Wesley Center? And that's what I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes talking to you about, and we have some surprises for you, and I hope you like it. Before then, I want to introduce the brain trust of the Wesley Center. We've got Howard Hines, who a lot of you know. There you go. He's the executive director of the Wesley Center. His assistant to the executive director is Jasmine Smith. And we have our head of bookings and reservations and so on and so forth, Madison Preble, who's also up here right now. We've gone through a lot of changes with the Wesley Center that I want to bring to you. But as you know, the Wesley Center was designed to serve the ministries and the mission of the Methodist Church, opened in 1996, over 30 years ago. At that time, it was primarily used by the conference, and it was supplemented by outsiders coming in and bringing some financial support and so on and so forth to use kind of the dead space over there. Now, over time, especially in the post-pandemic world, these patterns have shifted. Retreat bookings are down, and today the conference uses the Wesley Center differently. Today, we want to reintroduce to you the Wesley Center. Now, the Wesley Center operates best when bookings remain steady throughout the year. There's also opportunities for gatherings at the Wesley Center, and we know what those gatherings are like from a church perspective, but there's also plenty of opportunities from a community and a corporate perspective. To help draw interest, we've taken meaningful steps to strengthen and renew the Wesley Center. One of the changes you're going to see shortly is an updated look for the Wesley Center. We have a new logo. We've rebranded. And launched today is a new website that we're very proud of, and we want you to look at that website, www.thewesleycenter.com. There it is. And it's beautiful. You can also do your bookings through there. You can get through what it's all about. You can see our new logo up there, and it's pretty exciting. Now, at the heart of these changes is a simple belief that the Wesley Center is a gift. It's sacred space that has served generation of ministry, connection, retreat, and renewal. And we want to continue sharing that gift, not only across the Louisiana Conference, but with community groups, ministries, nonprofits, schools, and churches. Now, help me out here. Give me a show of hands. How many here are the lead pastor of their church? Now, how many of you have been to the Wesley Center in the last couple of years? And how many of you have organized a group and paid for something to go to the Wesley Center? Yeah, see, that's the issue. That's the issue. Y'all aren't using the Wesley Center. And if that's what it is, then its purpose has moved on. But we believe with increased usage by you and to go aggressively outside and book corporations and communities and such, we'll be able to economically sustain the Wesley Center. And that's what we're going to try to do with our new logo, our rebranding, our new website, the whole thing. We think we can turn this into an economically viable operation, and that's what our goal is. I'm going to ask you today to help with that. Last year, the conference used the Wesley Center for less than 10% of its revenue. We'd like that number to be a little bit larger. We'd like that number to be a lot larger. We want to reintroduce the Wesley Center with you, and we're going to put our money where our mouth is, and we're going to give every church in the conference $1,000 to use to go book the Wesley Center between now and next year's annual conference. There has been a lot of support with this. Our chairman, Ed Cooper, Van, the bishop, the cabinet have really gotten behind the Wesley Center and said, let's make a run at it. That $1,000 will basically get you a weekend visit there. 6 people for dinner, breakfast, lunch, overnight, 3 rooms. That's about $1,000. So that's what we're talking about. Maybe bring 20 people there for a day event with a room and a meal and so on and so forth. It will help. There's going to be, I think, Todd, we're going to do a code, but we do have a table over there that will be up for the rest of this conference. We have brochures for you. They're gorgeous, hot off the press. Please take those. We'll have our website there. Our brain trust will be there. We can take orders if you want to go book it right away. But we're very, very serious that between now and next annual conference, you can come in and use the Wesley Center for your need. But please, think about what you want to use that for. Do you want to use it to plan your next women's retreat? Maybe a men's weekend. Maybe you want to host an end-of-year leadership planning session where you bring your church council or leadership team away for a day of visioning and prayer. You want to create a space for your confirmation class or your youth discipline weekends. Do you want to bring volunteers together for training, appreciation, and encouragement? Do you want to host an art or creative ministry gathering? And maybe you want to talk to the members of your congregation, those that own businesses or are active with a service group or an organization, that they want to bring their companies there to the Wesley Center. If so, please know that the choices are endless, and you can use the Wesley Center as a place to dream, reconnect, and imagine what God might be doing next in your ministry. This renewed focus reflects both hospitality and stewardship by making the Wesley Center easier to discover, easier to experience, and easier to reserve. We strengthen its long-term sustainability that ensure that this ministry resource continues serving people for years to come. Please swing by the table, get your brochure, look at the website, thewesleycenter.com, think about how you'd like to use it, and know that your church has got $1,000 to use between now and next annual conference to go visit the Wesley Center. Thank you very much.